Hey, what's going on,
Wrong
everybody?
intro.
I love to say,
Okay.
surprise, we're talking about metaphor, but no,
On the
Uh,
left.
metaphor is great. What? No, you know things. You know about our great friend Grius.
Oh, the betrayer.
No,
yeah.
but that's besides the point. Welcome everybody to the Amateur Otaku podcast once again. We're going to talk about Zenshu, not metaphor.
Again, I apologize for the wrong intro. I didn't.
No, you're fine. It's perfectly fine. You know, you keep people on your toes. That's what we're here to do. But yeah, before we get into the conversation, I'd like to introduce our panelists, starting with Didge. How's it going, Didge?
Oh, it's going good. Like we were saying off air, it's been quite a week, so trucking towards Friday. That's all I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Edit fest started, so I'm busy,
Oh,
busy,
yeah.
busy.
I'll have to catch up with you offline about that, see how things are going. But yeah,
I'm only in day
it's
2, so it's still early.
gotcha. But yeah, Edifest, that's happening. Nintendo's there like a direct every day until Switch 2. So it's like, you never know. Things are getting quite busy. Marvel had just apparently a stream of chairs. I didn't watch it, but apparently it was just chairs. So
I had it
we
on in the background. Leo basically live streamed it, and I thought it froze. Leo like live streamed it, and every
Poor
time
fella.
somebody would show up, he was like, "Oh, here we go," and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." I was just working. I had music going, and then out of nowhere, you would just hear, "All right, here we go, y'all," and I know, like, "All right, let me go tune back in."
I feel like someone's gonna write a social paper about that stream like 3 years from now. I just feel like millions of people just watched chairs and were excited.
We got up to 10 million.
That's crazy. I need to change up my formula, y'all. I need to buy more chairs. But yeah, Isaac, how have you been? I heard you were also part of the chair marathon watch, but
I was,
Charathon was
had it
right
not
there.
been for that infamous Pokemon stream, this would have been the most poorly executed stream when in terms of reveals I've ever been part of. But
definitely it was an interesting concept.
I might have mentioned that one for you earlier. That stream, the Pokemon one. But for reference, there was a 24-hour stream, and the only thing they confirmed was a version exclusive Pokemon, which is just ugh.
Well, word got out there, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, speaking of getting the word out there, I feel like I haven't heard so much about Zenshu when looking at social media or just anime reviewers in general. So I'm glad that we can kind of, if not kick off this conversation, keep the conversation going. I don't know if you guys want to do like just general thoughts on the season as a whole first, and then maybe we can get into some spoilers later. But yeah, I'll throw it back to you, Isaac. Whatever your preference.
I think I suggest we take spoilers for later, since this is an overall show review after all. But
So, your general thoughts then?
I really enjoyed it, and as I said on Discord, this ended up as one of the whole typical. I'm gonna grab this anime as soon as I can once I find a copy of it, because sure, I do enjoy collecting anime and all that. Yes, you all know that, but some animes I only watch on streaming because I feel I don't need that in my collections kind of deal. It's just perfectly fine for me. It doesn't have that extra oomph sort of deal. This one had it. It's just a classic example of it knew what it wanted to do. It's cute, it's charming, and it's thrilling in some aspects, and I really enjoyed it. Honestly.
Yeah, I definitely echo that sentiment. What about you, Didge?
I thought it was really good. I honestly don't think I'm as high as it sounds like you and Isaac are. Like
Oh,
I thought it was good. Like I had a good time with it. But I do feel like towards the middle, it kind of it kind of dragged a bit for me. Like there were some episodes in the
oh,
middle
you
where I
weren't
was
enjoying the journey, Didge. What's going on? See, that's gonna haunt you forever now. I'm gonna bring it up.
I don't know. It was interesting. Like I said, like I want to say that episode like 6, 7, 8, like that very midpoint. Like obviously, I don't want to get into too many. We can talk about it more in depth when we get into like the spoiler territories of it. But it it started off really strong. Like I said, the middle part, it kind of we just were kind of wandering along, I guess. And then definitely towards the end, like the that final climax to the end of the story, they stuck the landing really well. So overall, like I said, I'm definitely I definitely enjoyed the series as a whole, but I do think that there were parts that could have been tightened up, and that's kind of crazy to say because it was a 12 episode anime.
You know,
And
I don't completely disagree. Oh, go ahead, Isaac.
I was just gonna say it should be interesting hearing what those are.
Yeah, yeah. Once we get to the spoiler portion of it, the show. But yeah, I don't entirely disagree that I feel like the middle, um, it did feel not necessarily aimless or wandering in my perspective, but more like the threat of the what were they called?
Voids.
The void. Yeah, I feel like it became non-existent for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were kind of getting to know some of the characters on the crew, and I guess Natsuko was getting to know them a little bit deeper, and I guess some of their backstories that maybe she didn't know just based off of the movie or just literature that was available for the movie. So I can see why you would say that. I feel like I enjoyed those sections enough to be like, I don't think it dampens my view, I guess, of the series as a whole, but it definitely does, like, it feels somewhat different from the rest of the show. I can see that. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this. I My critique, actually, I wish that there could have been some way that they dug a little bit more into the anime industry and the treatment of animators, and maybe even just talk a little bit more about the process. And there are anime that do talk about, like, this is how you make an anime kind of thing. I would say they're few and far between though, and they're typically not isekai. So it would
No.
have been interesting to see them attempt to maybe tackle some of those subjects. But I also get that it might have just made the whole show feel bloated in a sense too. So I get why they wouldn't do it, but I wish there was some way that maybe it could have been done. But I do think that there are more subtle ways that they kind of talked about, I guess, Natsuko at being an animator and being that animator that would, put in long hours and constantly overwork themselves to try and get like a quote unquote perfect product. And we do see Natsuko kind of open up to the idea of working with her teammates more and like putting more trust in people to do their job and do the thing that they have been like are execute those skills that they've been honing themselves. And I partially wonder if that's a commentary, I guess, on just like a common animator blight that they always think that like, oh, I have to put the team on my back. I can't trust a lot of other people. Or if that's just specific to maybe like the keyframe animator or maybe someone that's like checking the animation and doing like the corrections and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. That might be too nerdy to put into the show. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun with this cast and getting to know them. So that's been great.
Yeah, it was definitely fun overall.
Go ahead, Isaac.
I was just gonna say, maybe they are doing that one on for a season 2, or
Mm. We'll talk
we go.
about any speculation around that at a later time. But yeah, there's definitely a question there for sure. I guess as far as just to kind of close out our spoiler-free conversation, would you guys recommend that people check out Zenshu? Is this
Yes,
like a anime beginner, or is it like intermediate, kind of like you've seen some anime and I think you would enjoy this, or what's your perspective on that? You can go ahead and go, Isaac.
yes, easy yes, because it's easy to digest. 12 episodes, all that, and it's just not something like. I think, how should I put it? Cowboy Bebop, I think, is a much better written show and all that, yes, but I feel like that's much more show that you need to digest. This is just an easy time, press play, enjoy kind of deal. In that sense. And it's also shorter, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
if you catch my drift.
Would you say this can be somebody's first anime?
Easy.
Okay. Yeah, same questions to you, Didge.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's an easy watch. It was nothing, and it was too intense. Not, like they definitely did stay. I would say mid surface level. So like take that with how you feel. Like if you're immediately, even if you're a new anime watcher, but you know what you watch non-anime is always something that's super deep. Maybe this isn't the first. Maybe this isn't the good first anime for you because um while they went through, like, obviously this was her journey about love, and like they kind of they touched on it. I don't necessarily think i would I would say that they went super deep with it. So if you are a viewer that is all about, I want things that are super thought provoking, I want things that'll have me on my couch thinking for hours, then yeah, no, it's not the perfect first anime for you. So um if you just want to have a good time, like you just want to be able to sit back and enjoy something, this is 100% a good first anime for you, because it was, even its heavier moments were kind of undercut with lightheartedness because there was just so much of it throughout the entire series. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that number one, I absolutely would recommend this for other people to watch. I think it was a great anime, and I believe anime original coming from Mappa too. So
I believe so.
that's always cool to see from these
It's
different.
an original, yes.
It's always cool to see coming from these different studios. As far as recommending it for somebody's first anime, I do agree with Didge that I feel like it depends on what you're looking for when you watch like TV or movies, anything like that. If it's something with more depth, then I don't think Zenshu is necessarily going to be it, because I do echo the sentiment of like this is a pretty lighthearted show, like even all things considered, with like Natsuko not knowing if she's dead or not, like trying to save this world, and kind of like them losing people along the way and still kind of having that like pretty lightheartedness. I don't think it's until the end that we really get to like feel some of these more darker emotions, and even then that's only for like a moment before we go back to like hope and like happiness and like all the good things.
Yeah,
So
there was really only one moment where I was like, "Yo, this is kind of messed up," and we'll talk about it in the spoiler. But I think even outside of that, because she was so adamant about how, oh, this is how the movie went, or this is the movie. This is, I know this plot from the movie. You never really could get into like that feeling like the stakes were real. Like
mhm.
even if she kind of felt like they were real, even the way that she was kind of going about it, it never really felt like she felt like these were super real stakes until, like you said, like towards the end, and by then there just wasn't enough time left to really sit in it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you there. But cool, yeah. I think we would all recommend it for
Mm-hmm.
everybody to watch. As far as first anime, if you're looking for something that's like lighthearted, I wouldn't necessarily call this a feel good. Like I don't feel like I generally had any like, oh man, like this kind of sucks things, but I don't know, feel goods. I feel like usually I'm like, oh my god, like this was
Yeah.
I feel amazing watching.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily get that from Zenshu. It was fun, but I don't think it was feel good necessarily. Yeah, if you're looking for a fun anime, there's some amazing animation in this.
Yes.
Great battle
But
sequence.
that's Mappa by nutshell. So
And some really great character work as well. I think you definitely enjoy this. So, yeah, I think that'll conclude our spoiler-free section. Now we can get into some spoilers, talk about any kind of speculations for season 2, or maybe just any kind of spin-off in the future. So, I don't know if anybody had a particular place they wanted to start, but yeah.
I guess I could start with talking about how I was looking up. I had to look up the episode title to see if that would help me remind me which episodes I was thinking really felt slow. And yeah, it was really that 6, 7. I'd say 8 started to pick back up range where it's like, obviously 6 was the flashback when we were learning about the 9 soldiers. And I think that might have been when you first learned I forgot what the dragon one's name was, but when you first Justice, that's what his name was.
Justice, yeah.
When you first, I think that you either met him in 4 or 5, but it was like right around the time right after you met him, so you're starting to like learn their backstory beyond what she already knows. And then 7 was when you started kind of going into her backstory, and I think it was like that in and of itself shouldn't have felt slow. Like, you definitely want to know about the characters that you are in. But by then we're at the midway point of the show. So I think I had just kind of got like, well, what we got is what we got about them. And then you just sort of did a lore dump in the middle of it. And so I think that's where it kind of felt slow, to the point where I'm just like, I almost forgot why we're here in the first place. And then 8, it starts to try to go back into it. That's where you meet like the bird that was the author. I don't necessarily think that worked as a character. Like, she didn't, the author bird didn't really bring too much to the series.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that. I do wish that the author was utilized a little bit better, and also they've never really touched on like why certain people in her life were like characterized as some of these characters that were already in the movie in like different ways. Like I don't remember what her role is. We'll just call her manager. Was like the lady that runs the bar.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody else from the real world like translated over, but I'm curious as to why that was. Like, it didn't seem like she was any kind of North Star or anything. I think like, the community kind of rallied behind her because I guess they like to drink a lot. I don't know. So she was present, but it just like, I don't understand what I'm getting out of her presence,
I think that's sort of what I meant by they kind of stayed like shallow surface level, where, like I said, they gave us these 2 lore dump episodes, but outside of that, it was just like window dressing, right? Like, those people, the boss specifically, she's around. The author bird is there to, I guess, heckle her about what the changes that she's making, but neither of those things really impacted the story overall. Like, she didn't lose her faith in her drawing because of the author bird. She sort of lost her faith in her drawing because she couldn't think of something, and then they started utilizing her drawings as the voids. So I like I said, it was one of those things where I was like, if this was a longer series, and maybe there will be a second season, obviously we're going to talk about that. Maybe those would have came back, but she's back in the real world. So it's like, how much of an impact is it going to have overall anyway, moving forward?
Oh, go ahead.
I forgot about doing that one.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I'm definitely with you there. I think, I don't know. Yeah, I think the way they did, Oh my gosh, I know I don't be remembering people's names. The unicorn.
Oh, I just happened to look over and they had his name in one of the synopsises, so that's how I could able to find Justice's name. Outside of that, I'll see if it says it here. Hold up.
I remember freaking
Unio.
There you go.
Unio. Yeah, like I like how his backstory is kind of weaved into like why him and Luke are such great friends, and he wants to bring him out of the void, and which was like a little bit more towards the end. So it's like, you know, we learned about this person and now it's over. So which is it's not bad, but it's not something I typically would like to happen in stories, I guess. Unless they're planning on doing a season 2 or something, who knows. But yeah, I feel like that was played out pretty well. Luke, we got to know like progressively as the season went on, which I think would be much more preferred. Same with Natsuko in a way. And some of the other characters like Justice or what's her face? The freaking, I think, is she an elf? I don't know, the mage.
Oh, I forgot her name too. Hold up.
Yeah. It's
Melman.
Mel. Wait, what?
Are you talking about Memel?
Yeah.
Mel, yes. Memel, yes. She was present at the beginning, but didn't really say anything. And then we got her backstory, and I'm like, oh, okay, like now we know a little bit more about her, like maybe why she's so quiet. And then she kind of went back to kind of being present again until the end, where you get to hear a little bit more from her. And I wish it was like more consistent ramp up there. And then QJ. I like QJ's character a lot. I feel like he started making sense to me more midway through the season, though. Because it also felt like he felt like similar to oh my gosh, we just said it. Unio. Similar to Unio's character, it felt like it was comedic relief in a different kind of way. But once we got past that, I thought QJ was actually a cool character and was glad to see him come back for the finale and help Natsuko one more time. So yeah, there's definitely overall I do really enjoy all the characters that we got to meet. I wish we could have reorganized the ways in which we got to learn more about them, because it did just feel like, okay, this is your episode, you get to talk, all right, shut up, this is your episode, now you get to talk, all right, shut up, like I don't want to hear more from you. So I wish it could have been a little bit more harmonious, I guess, rather than having a solo.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of taking the word of my mouth. So when you talked about the whole ordeal, I don't really know what else to add on your spoiler territory other than the question about will there a season 2 in this? And I personally think there ain't no plan, but if sales is good, well enough, and all that jazz, there is potential to it, because it left enough open to get a second season / sequel if they so wanted. But it has an ending that fits perfect for a one and done, so to speak.
So I guess to just like close out the ending before we get into like the speculation. So similar to the original like Tale of Perishing, like Luke does turn into the void, but this time it's because like, you know, he's in love with Natsuko and he thinks that Natsuko died by getting eaten by one of the void. Turns out Natsuko didn't die. She comes back and she like draws a new crystal thing. I forget what they're called. To help like keep the void out, and they save the day, and it's like, yay, cool. Oh, and she draws a bunch of Lukes. That's also I thought. See, I knew that was gonna happen when she was like, oh, I had to draw something that like they won't be able to use. And I'm like, it's Luke, isn't it? She's like, Luke, and then she does it. And I'm like, I saw it. I thought that was cool. But yeah, then the we talked about this. I think when we talked about the first episode, or maybe it was the first two, I can't remember, where I asked, do you guys think that she'll fall in love with one of these characters in this movie instead of falling in love with an actual person?
Yeah.
And it seems like I can't fully confirm that it's like in a romantic sense, but it does feel
It
like,
feels like it. But I
yeah,
also I agree with you. I kind of left it like, is this like I love this character that much? Or is it I truly am in love with the person?
yeah, because it did like the whole reason why I guess she got into this situation is she was drawing for this like romantic anime movie, and she was having trouble because she's never been in love before. And so when we finally come back to the real world after she's no longer, I guess, choking on or had the bad reaction to the sushi that she was eating, she was able to finish the movie. It was a success. Everybody can relate. And I guess it's because she finally like found that love in her heart. But I'm like, was it the romantic love needed for this romantic movie, or was it just realizing like, oh, I do have this strong love for something in general, and I can like channel that into some kind of relationship in this romantic movie. I don't know. That was another thing that I was kind of like, don't do this. So like, don't make it so that the freaking otaku is like so obsessed with anime. They fall in love with the character. Next thing you know, she's buying a damn robot. Like
I
um,
mean, I mean, it could be both in a sense, considering she, as she said, she could draw Luke with her eyes closed. So
yeah.
She
I
also
I
did do
do.
a lot of things with her eyes closed though. Like she was
Too
talking
bit.
about all the stuff that she could.
mm-hmm.
Touche, touche.
Yeah,
And I did laugh at the fact that him in the bath towel was the ultimate Luke
that
at
was
the
kind of
end.
funny. That was a little interesting. And I'm like, okay. But yeah, I know I think when we talked about in the first episode, just doing our preview, my better ending that we discussed would have been like, oh, somebody that looks like Luke or like reminds her of Luke in the real world. That's a real person. Like she meets them in the
Yeah.
office or something,
Yeah,
and that's the person that she falls in love with. I would have much rather had that. But I'm like, I'm not against her like loving her craft or loving anime in general. It's just like, don't. That's just sad. Okay, it's just sad to be in love with an anime character that will never like can't actually love you back.
or
But
can he?
maybe, yeah, the can that so she did have Yunio's horn still, which I found interesting. And I'm like, how does that work?
Yeah, that's
Um, and I don't know if it's because she had the horn or just because things from that world can come to the real world. It seemed like she saw Luke and Yunio and
And
Mimino
Mamel.
and QJ maybe.
yeah, he was floating
So
around too.
so yeah, she saw them in well, she didn't see them in the real world. We saw them in the real world.
Oh, did it? It
Well,
looked like she saw them.
yeah, because she turned around, so like she at least saw maybe the back of them, I guess.
I feel like if she saw them, she would have been like, oh, and then that's when
Well,
it
that's how it ended. She
And
she turned
that's
around.
how it ended.
Yeah, I know because
yeah,
I
that's
watched the last episode this morning.
okay. Well,
So,
uh, um, yeah, I where do you go from there? I feel like it's a completely different show vibe
well, that's the thing. I
thing.
don't think you do. Like, I know Isaac was. I think before we went back just to finish out everything, Isaac was about to say
Mhm.
how he thinks that it could go to a season two, but I don't think. I think this should be a one and done. Like, it told its story. You have your fun ending of, oh, what might happen. So you just sort of, it's open, I
Yeah.
guess. But for all intents and purposes, the story that it was set up to tell, we have the happy resolution of it. Like,
Mhm.
I know over the course of the series, she may or may not have fell in love with Luke, but again, we knew from the onset that that was sort of a time thing. Like that wasn't going to ever be able to last because he was an animated character.
Yeah.
So the bigger story that we were trying to tell was she needed to learn about love enough that she would be able to create a successful movie. And at the end of the day, she learned about love enough that she created a very successful animated movie to the point where they're already clamoring again, as they always were doing, for more of her work. So I think we're in that resolution that we should want. I think you're kind of shoehorning if you try to go for any more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Go ahead, yeah, man.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say, from the beginning, I thought this was gonna be a one and done
Yeah.
type thing. I now seeing the conclusion, I really feel that it should be a one and done thing because I don't know where you would go from there. Like, I don't think it would be similar to this show at all. In which case, is it even like a sequel or is it something different? So yeah, as much as I've enjoyed it, I think you have to know when, like, to stop something, before it becomes not enjoyable anymore.
Yeah.
For just to clarify, I do agree with you that this was a great ending point and they should end it there. All I'm saying is, if this sells enough copies and becomes enough of a hit in Japan, all that jazz, I do feel that this ended in such a fashion that they could do a season 2 if they so wanted.
I
That's them.
mean, I guess, with enough like money you could do anything, but that doesn't mean you should.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
But yeah.
Yeah, I thought Isaac had more to say.
It'll be interesting to see. I guess if Mappa decides to revisit this or not, which they're already very busy as it is. Well, we didn't know
Yeah.
we were going to be doing this anyway, but I
Yeah.
would assume that this might not be a thing, at least not in the near future.
I mean, we have JAK season 3 that looks like it's gonna be 2026 Shinsen anime with what's the name of the anime with the guy, the crocodile that has a
Dora
guy.
Hedoro.
Yeah, they are doing a new season of that. Yada yada yada. But I think it was a good idea to end it off with a. Did he come to the a real world as he promised, or was it just him saying that out of reaction, so to speak? Because, well, you could argue that it was obvious that he would react like that, in a sense. I mean, who wouldn't in his shoes?
Wait, I've lost the context for what we're talking about. Can you restate?
I mean, when it comes to the ending, when he say, I promise you, I'm gonna call.
Oh yeah, he's
gonna
gonna come find her, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and the way they ended it, it's like I said, it's obviously open to interpretation, and which is something I think was the right thing to do in a story like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it should be one and done, even if it is. I don't know. I don't know where they would go from there.
It's the same thing. Like when the Penguin finished, I kind of need to understand where you're going with this before I could say I'm on board with the season 2. Like at its base, in my mind, both series set out to tell the story that they wanted to tell,
Mhm.
and I know obviously the Penguin, they already said that they're working on a season 2. I don't think it's like fully official. I think they're like, we're gonna at least explore the idea of being able to do a second season. And I'll say the same thing I said with that one. Why? Do we really necessarily need a season 2? Because again, you set out and you told the story that you wanted to tell. Now it kind of just feels like you're like, oh, we were a success, so we gotta keep it going. And it's like, well, no, you don't. You can just move on to the next thing and people will still like it.
Right. Yeah, and I guess side note on the Penguin is just like after everything that transpired with the show, I can't root for him anymore. I really enjoyed the show and I enjoyed Oz's character and all the crazy stuff that he did, but I'm like, I don't think I want to follow him anymore. So yeah, and I definitely feel like I could follow Natsuko with like I guess her next anime journey of like I don't know if her thing is just like she always eats a bad piece of fish and somehow isekais into the next project she's struggling with or something. But
that could be something.
I don't think that'd be a great something, but
that's the second time I already was exhausted by it. Like, oh, we're doing that again, and it's not even real. Like, it just off the premise of it alone.
Yeah, I'm like, I really think that this, this should be like a great moment for Mappa to be like, we made something original, people liked it, like. Who else on the Mappa team has a great original idea that they want to do? Like, let's explore that. Because I don't know. I don't think this one has much legs for a sequel. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it was great though. It was a great ride.
It was.
I am the same. Like I said before, I enjoyed watching this.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I followed it.
Yeah, I definitely would love like a behind the scenes or something on. Actually, you know what? Maybe that's where I can get like my like animator insights. Like, maybe there's like a director's cut or something that they can do where they talk about like, yeah, no, this is like real, like we feel like we gotta like do all this ourselves, or maybe they're like, oh, in the part where we drew like a bunch of loops a million times, like we did XYZ thing. Like, I think that'd be cool. I don't think I've ever seen an anime director's cut. I don't know, but this feels like a series that could be a good one.
Yeah.
Oshinoko, I know, did the behind the scenes stuff for at least episode 1. Can't recall the studio's name of that, but I know they did that.
Okay, that's dope. But yeah, I think that would be cool, especially with like all the different like anime styles that they did, and just how great the animation was in general. It'd be cool to hear a little bit more about it, in my personal opinion. But that's all I would think I would want from this, outside of just watching the series itself.
Yeah, I can say that. I was just trying to check your opinion, if, when, how they would do that. How, if what your opinion would be on that.
I don't know. I mean, personally, this year is packed on a lot, the entertainment for me in general. So I'm like, you can wait like 2027.
Yeah.
I never know.
Yeah, there's a lot.
This year is packed.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, like, if they ever had a lull, that'd be cool to explore. Or I don't know if they ever do like Unreal or Blender has these conferences where developers will say like, this is how we made like this specific mechanic for our game or something like that. Like, I don't know if animators have that, but it would be cool to have like a little expose, I guess.
I would be. Yeah. I would agree.
Maybe I can start it. It starts here today. The Amateur Otaku convention. But cool. You guys have any other thoughts on Zenshu in general that you want to share, or I guess theories about things that happened in the series?
Oh,
I think.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
go on, Didge.
the only other thing when I was saying earlier about the part that I thought was really dark was the what was the tiger mask lady's name? I forgot.
Oh, I don't know. I know what you're talking about. She
But
doesn't
when
have pink hair.
yeah, towards the end when obviously everything was
Oh,
going and she's
yeah,
telling the
yeah.
kids,
Mhm.
let's just go to sleep and when we wake up tomorrow everything will be okay. At first I didn't realize at first that they were also in the process of disintegrating. Like obviously I saw Justice did. And so I thought she just didn't want them to look at him disintegrating anymore. But then as I
Are you
see her
talking about
disintegrating,
Destiny?
yes.
Mhm.
But as you see them disintegrating right with her, I was like, yo, this is so sad. This
Yeah,
is
that
so
was
sad.
crazy. Like towards the end, it definitely like people were. I guess the author bird lady was spreading those rumors about Natsuko like being a part of the void, and then like the
Yeah.
village just turned ugly, and then the freaking I forget what that cult is called that likes the void, but they came out and were like, "Oh hell yeah, let's go Natsuko!" And everything just kind of took a dark turn. That was crazy. That was definitely the most suspenseful, and especially when all that started happening, like
Hmm.
Natsuko and Yunio like getting eaten by the void. I was like, oh, how is this going to work out? So yeah, that was a really impactful moment of the show for sure. A good last final push to the end.
Yeah, I can agree on that one. It was surprisingly dark at the end of it for a relatively light-hearted journey from the start.
Yeah,
If you discount the reason as to why she came there, but that's besides the point.
yeah. It was like I was saying earlier, like I feel like there are few moments where you really get into like some of those like darker emotions in the series and really kind of like sit with them. And it was definitely towards the end where it just felt like, everybody's losing hope.
Hmm.
Or just like the void is like they're trying to spark things up and be like, yeah, like the void will take us all, like all that kind of stuff. So I kind of I don't know. It would have been interesting to have more of those feelings more frequently because, like Did was saying earlier, um, it never really felt like they were in danger until the end. But I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a thriller, but it would have been nice to feel more of that pressure, I think.
Yeah, I can get that. I get that.
Cool. Anything from you, Isaac, that you wanted to highlight or theories?
No, mm, no, I really don't. More than like I said before, really enjoyed this show and hope I can get hands of copies soon.
No, I have a theory.
Mm.
I
Okay.
think, had Justice and Natsuko had a little bit more time together, I feel like they could have been a thing.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh no, that seemed like I don't know. Justice seemed like he might just been like generally flirty, but I also felt like a lot of the male characters were kind of like giving googly eyes to Natsuko. But it was only I feel like between Justice and Luke that Natsuko was kind of like giving them like, oh, okay, like there she was giving something back,
Mm.
Side,
That's a spicy theory.
yeah, alternate reality. Natsuko gets with Justice instead, and that's why Luke turns into the void.
Oh, yikes. I didn't know you were going still the dark route, but all right.
I mean, he wasn't gonna let that happen and not do anything. He wasn't gonna be
Dang.
happy for
Eh,
her. He's like,
Dang.
no, she needs to be with me.
This is
This
a
guy's
whole
not
different
even on the
show.
squad anymore. Exactly. It turns into a trashy reality TV.
Yeah, I was gonna say this took a turn. He was still kind of on the squad. He was helping out at the orphanage. If it, that's who definitely they had a thing going. Him and Destiny. Like, did you?
Oh, towards the end, yeah, I can see that. But that was after Natsuko already kind of shut him down, you know. So you see what I'm saying? Like, it could have maybe been something. And he definitely was. He was like helping with the orphanage and helping take care of like the people that were in like the not so great parts of the kingdom, I guess. But you know, as Luke, if he's a justice hater, he's gonna be like, nah, man, he's not even part of the team. He's not a hero. He's not doing no hero stuff. You know, he's trying to take him down by any means possible. That's all I'm saying. It could have been spicy. Could have been spicy.
Yikes! You wanted a whole different type of show.
Listen,
apparently.
I just felt like maybe there'll be a little triangle going on, but no, that ended pretty quick.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I can agree on that part. I can certainly agree on that part.
Well, y'all, if you have seen the series, which hopefully you have, if you're in the spoiler section of the show.
Yeah, if you made it this far, that's crazy.
Let us know your thoughts and opinions about the show. And if you also have any spicy theories, maybe some ships, let us know in the comments. I'm supporting all the Justice and Natsuko ships in the comments.
Interesting.
So I'm curious if anybody sees any. You know, actually, I have another one, actually. I felt like Yunio was low-key like, I don't like Natsuko because she's trying to mess with my man. Even though I know they were like kind of childhood friends, but the way he was so territorial, I was like, Yunio might actually like Luke. See that's, but I'm not for that ship. I'm not for that ship because I'm like, you know what, Yunio, go on somewhere.
You're getting real spicy.
Listen, I saw the signs, y'all. I saw the signs. But yeah, if y'all also saw any signs in the comments, definitely let us know.
Is this your way to plug your Thirst of the Wild video, by the way?
Thirst of the Kingdom. And
Thirst of the Kingdom, sorry.
This is just how my brain works. But if y'all
apparently
that's on that Temptation Island.
Listen, I need to finish it. It's so good. See, anime watchers, y'all don't know what you're missing. Yeah, we appreciate y'all for watching as always. If you have any recommendations for anime we might have missed in the winter season, definitely let us know because, like, you know, there's only so much we can watch at one time. Granted, spring season looks like it's also going to be super loaded. But if something's that great, we'll try to at least do a preview of it. So definitely let us know.
Agreed.
And if there's anything coming up in the spring season that we should be checking out, definitely let us know that as well. But yeah, to close things out, Didge, where can the people find and support you?
Oh, you could find me at Didge_DEE in most places. Other places it's just DidgeD without the underscore. Like I was saying at the jump, this month is Edit Fest, so stay tuned on my socials to see what'll be happening because Edit Fest will probably take up a lot of my time.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Understandable.
Come up with. And Isaac, where can the people find and support you? I see you have a new venture going. Let the people know.
Well, you can find me over at IsaacWolf92 on Twitch, and where I'm starting streaming, and I will. Is it next week? They are going to pop up as edited videos on the YouTube channel with the same name, so to speak.
Awesome.
Love to see it.
I know you're probably playing a lot of Nintendo games. Are you going to be talking about the results of, I guess, tomorrow's Nintendo Direct or the Nintendo Direct that's on Tuesday?
I have an appointment with my therapist, unfortunately, at that time, so...
The way did his face change so fast. I'm sorry, that threw me off.
That comment threw me off. Because I was like, oh, okay.
He was all smiling, and then he's at therapist, he's like... But go ahead.
But yeah, if I didn't have that one, I would have watched that.
Okay.
Watch that one.
Maybe people can get a post live stream some thoughts from you.
Yeah.
In like the
Yeah.
community tab, or if you do a video or something, that'd be cool.
Yeah, currently streaming Fire Emblem Engage and Pokemon Stadium.
There you go.
So,
Just
and I had some insane luck at it in Pokemon Stadium stream, and it went kind of horrible at the Fire Emblem stream last night. So.
Oh, yikes.
Unbalanced. You need to spread more the love.
Yeah, it was typical Fire Emblem unluck. Let's go with that.
I see. Well, we hope that next time you stream, maybe that luck will change around. People definitely, send Isaac your energy. I don't know about sending your luck because you also need that too. But some good thoughts, good vibes. Send them some good vibes. Awesome, yeah. And you guys can find me at swiper_prime on YouTube and Twitch. Digi and I have been playing through Split Fiction, and we've been having a lot of fun. I think we'll be finishing the game. We'll try to finish the game tomorrow.
I don't know if I got another 5-hour stream in me.
Oh, come on, dude. Come on, man. We
three in a row, technically. Because remember, I did the 5.
That was last week.
I did 5 hours to finish out Hi-Fi Rush. Then we did 5 hours to start Split Fiction. Then we continued.
That's 3 separate weeks. 3 separate weeks, dude. You could do it.
Speaking of which, I have a suggestion of a game we three should stream, but we can take that off there.
Got you. But yeah, I've been playing Split Fiction with Dish. That's been fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I'll definitely be checking out the Nintendo Direct that's happening tomorrow. I'll be checking it out after work because I'm like, I have no idea what's going to be in that. But I actually did save myself some time on, I don't know, whichever day the Direct for Switch 2 is happening. I did carve out some time to actually live stream that in the morning, so I'll be checking that out. I will be hoping for Zelda, but I just gotta accept the way that things are. That's where I'm at. But yeah, we appreciate you guys for coming out. Please do support everybody that's here on the panel. The links will be in the description. And until next time, you guys keep watching anime and reading manga.
Have it awesome, y'all.
Peace.